Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we are in the shop today. If you guys saw that ditch light video from a couple weeks ago, that part finally came in. And at the end of that video, I pretty much made a decision that I was going to get rid of those cheap LED pod lights that I had, because I didn't really like the quality of them. So I went ahead and decided to order the Baja Designs lights. So as you guys can see, GM tries to not hide the fact that these are aftermarket lights. It came from Baja Designs, has a GM part number on it. It's 194178663. Now this kit is only going to be for the lights only. In my previous video, I pretty much had explained that I wasn't going to buy the wiring harness because I think it ranged between $150 and almost $200 for that wire harness. And that wire harness is not controlled by anything on the interior of the truck. It's controlled by a key fob that you have to put on your keychain. I've had aftermarket keychain things for my Corvette, actually specifically the exhaust. I had an NPP exhaust on there. You hit a little button, it opened up the valves in the back. I didn't want to deal with that again, especially not with any lighting outside. So I decided not to order that. We're going to basically connect a little harness, probably have to run 6 feet of wire from the driver's side through the engine bay and then over to the battery. That's all we're going to have to do, because I already ran the wiring in a previous project. I'll have that video up above. And we already have the wiring there existing for the auxiliary switch and all that. So, all right, guys, so this is the kit that I was pretty much telling you about. You got some stickers. I don't think there's any instructions, though. Product registration. So you got your light here. It does come with a cover. I wasn't really sure if they were, so it comes with that. And you've got almost a GM weather pack. Guys, I might be able to find that and buy that. We'll have to see. So there's that one. Then there's going to be this one. So another light, another harness at the end of there. Okay, so this actually is a kit running underneath the hood. I wasn't sure about that because they call them A-pillar lights, but yet the brackets they send you, it comes with obviously a hood bracket. So there's one, there's the other. And here is the instruction kit for the install. This shouldn't be too complicated. Ooh, hey guys, there's actually electrical connectors here. Honestly, they're just cheap weather pack connectors. I already have a set of these, but that's fine. But it does have a pin harness on there. So thankfully they provided the connectors here so that we're not going to have to clip the ends of their harness off, go find a weather pack connector, or try to find the GM ends, you know, whatever particular part number they have on these. Yeah, so that's really cool that they included that. Saves you a bunch of time. All we got to do is basically strip the wire, put their pins on it, assemble the weather pack connector, and plug these in. So that's really awesome. I wasn't expecting them to do that. So let's go ahead and get the instructions open and see if there's any aha moments or, you know, anything big that we should show you guys. All right, guys, I've read the instructions. They're really pretty basic. All that they show you is you basically disconnect the hood shock, remove the hardware, and put these on. So it isn't too complicated. You know, they show you the views and all that. So I'll basically rest something under the hood so you can put the latches on without tightening everything down. So, all right, guys, you can see that we have the hood underneath some braces. These are just some race ramps. Taking the bracket, they provide you these rubber pieces. Put that on there. The stickiness isn't really important right now. It will eventually be kind of resting against the hood, so that's why they want that rubber pad on there. Taking tape, they wanted you to outline the shape of the hood hinge. That way you guys know where to put it back. And then I also took the extra step of putting some tape around the bolts just to help protect the paint a little bit. It's not going to be 100% protected, but it'll look better than not having any protection. And also I took off the hood strut right here. So basically what we're going to do is take off these two 13mm bolts, this top one and the bottom one. Take these two off, put the bracket on. We're going to take the bolts all the way off, actually the nuts, because as you guys can see, these are not, you can't slide it behind it. So we have to take the nuts all the way off. All right, guys, you can see we got the bracket over on the passenger side. We also got it installed over on the driver's side. The driver's side bolted right on. The passenger side I had to modify a lot. I actually had to modify it 2 or 3 times. In regards to that bracket, you guys can see I cut a chunk off here, like, I don't know, probably 1/4 inch. But I also did a vertical cut on it as well and cut off probably another 1/8 of an inch there. So actually that slivers right here. So I don't know if that's between a 1/16 and an 1/8. But so yeah, that bracket definitely required trimming and grinding, and I had to repaint it a little bit just so that it would clear the hood bracket. All right, I've installed the brackets on the bottom of the ditch lights. You guys can see the side bolts are just 4mm hex. Those things tighten down. Oh, and the way this goes, there's kind of a, you guys can see that there's kind of a crush sleeve that goes on first, the bracket, and then the bolt. And then for here, this is a 14mm top and bottom of this mounting bolt, and you just put a washer on each side of the bracket. So, all right, guys, you can see we got the lights attached. They just attach with that 14mm nut and bolt up top and bottom of the bracket, kind of like I said. I do need to trim off this excess rubber. That's there just to protect the hood. Then, as you guys can see, I ran the wire harness actually down below the hood. I haven't really quite determined which way is going to be the best way, whether we run it to the right or to the left of the hood bracket, but ran it this way. Seems to be plenty of clearance. And down here, we're going to plug the pigtail into the harness I have to make. Then we're basically going to run that kind of through over the firewall and then down over there into the passenger side. All right, guys, here is our wire harness that I just finished making. So here's the driver's side. You just have your weather pack connector here. Align the red to white, black to black. That should be the ground. Over here on the passenger side, same thing. Red to white, black to black. That'll be your ground. And then I just ran that through this loom. And then at the very end of our harness, we've got our male weather pack connector. That's going to go into the previous connector that we've shown you before. You've got your ground. We got that 13mm nut by the battery. And yeah, so that's your power, that's your ground, and this will be controlled by our auxiliary switch that we installed in a previous video. So yeah, that's the driver's side. This is the passenger side. And so yeah, all we did was run our ground here to that stud like we said. Our power wire is down here with that weather pack connector. So here's the finished passenger side pod light and bracket. As you guys can see, we ran the wire back down kind of between the fender and the rubber piece here. We should be good there. And we did the same on the driver's side. So here are the ditch lights on. If you just look at my backyard, it's lighting up. You know, the passenger side's blocked by the house, but yeah, I mean, that goes all the way back to the fence back there. So yeah, these things are really, really bright. And so yeah, I am really glad we swapped out for the nicer design Baja Design lights. And so here's inside the truck. Turn them off, turn them on. Yeah, you guys, these are really freaking bright. So just kind of looking by the backyard. Yeah, these things are pretty sweet. So yeah, that is the Baja Designs GM accessories, whatever you want to call it, ditch light kit. And as you guys can see right here, it's controlled by our second aux switch. You guys can see we turn them on, turn them off. So that's controlled by our aux switch, like we said. And our first is our orange lights from that we put in the previous video. So now I've got ditch lights, running lights, 3 more switches. I'm sure we can come up with something to fill that up. All right, guys, that's gonna be a wrap up for the Baja Designs GM accessory kit ditch lights that we picked up. It's been kind of a long project just because we kind of did the other kit and we're like, yeah, I don't like it so much, so we bought this new kit. The Baja Designs, the lights are better, but I don't know if the brackets from DZ from the previous video that we done, those might be better. The reason I'm gonna complain a bit is because I had to modify the passenger side bracket and it took me over 2 hours to do that. So it's like, I put it on, didn't fit. Cut it, put it on, didn't fit. Cut it, put it on, didn't fit. And the way the Baja Designs brackets are designed, they don't slide back behind the bolt. So you have to take the nuts all the way off, then try to hold up the hood, the bracket, and then try to put a nut on it. So I will say the DZ design is superior in the fact that you can just slide it in, loosen the nut off, slide it in back behind it, and tighten it back down. So it is superior in that design. But I don't know if they fit any better because honestly, I didn't fit them to the truck. I just didn't like the look of those big pod lights that I had that were kind of old. And yeah, so maybe the better kit would be the DZ brackets with the Baja lights. I don't know. But anyway, once I finally got the passenger side fitting, everything else just took like, I don't know, a couple hours. And I got the kit bolted on. I got the wire harness created and everything plugged and played. So now if you guys didn't have the weather pack connectors, if you didn't have the auxiliary switch, if you didn't have anything else, you know, the grounds or anything like that, you can buy a plug and play kit. But guys, be warned, I think it's almost like $600. That wire harness was like $180 to $220. I saw a lot of varying prices on that. So just be forewarned that that kit, you know, if you get the GM Baja Designs wire harness, it's like another $200. I didn't need it. I already had a power supply, already had a ground, and we just plugged it in. So Oh, and like I kind of mentioned earlier in the video, that GM kit doesn't plug into the interior, so you have to have a key fob, you have to have another battery, and you know, it's just a hassle I don't want to deal with. So, will I be using those a lot in off-roading? Not necessarily, but I do live out in the country. There's a lot of deer out here, so I would just like to have extra lighting for the sides to prevent deer from running in front of my really expensive truck, and hopefully that will help me see them when I'm able to use them. So, but yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more ZR2 updates, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. If you guys want to help support the channel, check out all the links down below. I'll try to get you the GM part number for the Baja Designs Kit, and also try to include all of the electrical stuff that we use today. Heat gun, solder, wire, crimps, you know, pretty much everything that we used. We'll give you links to all that stuff down below. And also make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. Any support that you guys make there goes right back into the truck, the channel, the shop, and all that. So that's going to be it. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.